Sorry about that. Also, like, blah, I can't speak. Had a bit of food in my mouth, and now I can't figure out what I'm supposed to speak. Oh, please give a moment to make sure all the live streams are set on up. Soup's good to go. Twitter's good to go. Cake's good to go. Which appears to be good to go. Yep, looks like Rumble's going. Just let me double check my other computer, make sure that all that's going good. Yep, and looks like everything's good to go. Or the fact that I did not find a replay just yet. Please give me one moment. Yesterday, I think I may have finished off with this player here. Let's see. I see there's some replays recently. Just gotta make sure I don't accidentally select the same one. This may be a good replay to start out the day with. So, let's go get started. Greetings everyone, Angrid here with another HBars 4 replay. Spawn top left side as the Magenta Chinese with Louis MT. Spawn bottom right side as the Cyan French with Maria, I think. Because usually Maria is spelled with I, not E. Oh well. Either way, let's go and cover each player's civilization economic bonuses. The French do, of course, have a slightly faster villager time. Additionally, they do also build, get free melee blacksmith upgrades, as well as in castleways they will have access to cheaper units and through the influence around a keep. The Chinese do have the Imperial official there. They improve the drop-off, as well as able to collect up some taxable income. Additionally, there's some more effects when coming to the age, the dynasty, such as going to Song Dynasty will reduce the villager production time down to 15 seconds, rather than the base 20 seconds. Scout and Scout will spot each other. There's a handful of deer there. We've got the Spore on the high ground. He's king of this mountain. Pumbaa really has stepped up the world, hasn't he? School of Cavalry now being deployed out by the French, not uncommon. The French, or the Chinese right now, don't have enough resources to get to the next age just yet. Now, he now does have, he may eye for, I'm not sure what he's going to eye for. Let's go for the Imperial Academy, which will of course increase the taxable income around this region. More precisely, in nearby buildings generate plus 100% increased tax gold. Here for officials can also use that location as a drop-off point. School of Cavalry is being built, which is a stable, which also makes all of your stables produce 20% faster. The biggest benefit, I would say, to the landmark is literally the fact that it's just a stable. So you don't have to take time to collect up 150 wood and then build out a stable in order to deploy out your now 2 Royal Knights on the build queue. Scout moving around. Got this Royal Knight now advanced on forward. Both sides players advance the next age. He knows he's against French, so he needs to get out some spearmen. The chance of him fighting Imperial Royal Knights are very likely. He does take time and starts stabbing some sheep there with the spearman. That may have been a misclick. He may have been just trying to click on the location, not necessarily to kill that sheep. But the sheep is down. He put down that sheep, like the traitor he was. Doesn't act like the other good sheeple and just follow him to glory. Do not have stable point field. The common composition for the French is Royal Knight Archer. He's sorry about that. And so going for Spearman and Archer would be a good idea. Spearmen to engage the Royal Knights and Archers to engage the Archers. Spearmen, of course, can cage Archers, but not very well. The fact that their spears simply can't reach far enough. There needs to be at least 30 feet long in order to reach those Archers more successfully, not their 10 feet long. We do not have this scout moving around. We do have, looks like a bit of berries being collected up. He probably was just trying to get the mill for the wheelbarrow out. They didn't bother retask the villager onto something else than berries. Policy walls have gone up over here, which will help choke up the right side of the map. We got a handful of sheeple here still remaining for the Chinese player. The French player popped 3 sheep there. Looks like he has about... Oh, there's 2, literally the exact same amount. That's funny. So he's about 500 food there. Horseman and scout moving around. Looks like the French is eyeing for some forest puppers. And right now we've got 3 horsemen versus 2 royal knights. Additionally, there's a good number of defensive spearmen. The spearmen are being pushed forward as well, so it looks like the Chinese player is eyeing for some aggression. We have the archery here. The French has obtained enough stone for a town center, but he does not have enough wood for a town center. The Chinese player is not collecting up any wood, so the Chinese player is not eyeing for additional town center. If he falls to the Bardic Sun or his Castle Age landmark, he will of course have the Song Dynasty to get out faster, villagers 25% faster. Exotic Doggo does receive some stabs there, does not go down. We got 2 Royal Knights here. He does spot the force here. Of course, each side scout won't really provide as much damage unless it's to the other scout. Now, a handful of archers here, which will do minimal damage versus these horsemen. They do have 5 damage. The horsemen do have 2 inherent pierce armor. So still a decent amount, but nothing too significant. Horse puppers here have all gone down. That is the French player killing off all the deer there, and they're very spread out. I'm not sure why he did that. Bardic Sun now being put on the field, which will allow the Chinese player to advance to the Song Dynasty. He will be placing out right next to these forest puppers. There are 7 villagers there. He could perhaps get an 8th one up the mix. The Bardic Sun does have 8 garrisonable slots, and you can garrison harvest up to 8 people onto a single deer carcass. We do, of course, have the town center going on up. There's still quite a bit of distance between the deer and all of them. Chinese do find 1 more sheeple. He's going to lead him to glory. He's leading the battle. Horsemen are now falling him back. You probably saw that town center going on up. Song Dynasty is now began. Now do you have the survival techniques being pulled on out of the field? Something I want to check. Just give me 1 moment. Yeah, you can see all the pure officials here, but you can't see the dynasty effects in the replay. I really need to look them up to look up all the dynasty effects. I gotta get general idea of what all of the unit unlocks are, such as the Ming Dynasty for the Grenadier and the Yuan Dynasty for the Fire Lancers. So you can get Fire Lancers in Castle Age. It's just that you have to pull out all your landmarks for that. It's a good unit, but that's why we see it a bit more often in Imperial Age rather than Castle Age. Because people tend to only pull out 1 of the landmarks in Castle Age. After all, Astronomical Clock Tower is very good. The Imperial Palace is just meh. Survival techniques now been pulled on the field. Spearmen falling back. We got 3 Royal Knights right here. Right now, the Chinese player does have a larger. Nope, they don't have the same size of force in the field. It's higher quality for the Cyan player. And we do actually have a second town center here, right next to Barticus Zone. So that's up to 18 garrisonable slots there for protection. I do love the Chinese music in Age of Empires 4. It's sort of similar to like a lot of Pirates of the Caribbean music, honestly, with that deep bass string sound. Is it bass? I always forget which one it is. I do not know any of the name of the string instruments, nor the woodwinds, nor the percussion, or had very little of the brass. You have these Royal Knights and Scout moving around. We got a decent number of spearmen here for protection. And the Bureau official could collect some protection money from the mill there. There's 270 gold inside of that mill, so there's a lot of protection money he could obtain. And now those knights are falling back. A couple villagers there building some palisade walls there. These horsemen may find them. Spearmen still in pursuit of these Royal Knights. Horsemen engaging these villagers there, getting some good kills. Horsemen now falling on back. And down here we do have villagers getting spotted by a scout. The scout does have an axe, but the axe does 1 damage. Horseman does find the horseman. Sheep still being led to battle. A couple spearmen hits there onto these Royal Knights. He does not have Chivalry at the moment, and his area is blocked off, but we do have additional talents on the far side. His wood line is a little exposed. Cinch News do get a good volley there on the scout. The scout does go down, and now one of these Royal Knights will go down, the wounded one. The other two should be able to escape on out there. Royal Knights falling on back. Of course, his escape opportunity is dwindling. There is an opening course here, and here, and here. Royal Knights take the opportunity to pick off this horseman, but he will lose both his Royal Knights there. And now the scout could go down. Of course, it's just a scout. He could leave that alone for the time being. Doesn't pose a threat to his villagers, so it's not really an important thing to hunt down, in my opinion. A single horseman to hunt it down is probably more than plenty. More villagers bring up some more walls. So far, got 3 town centers for the Chinese player, and he is, of course, in the Song Dynasty, so that makes it 3.75 town centers. His opponent is on 2 town centers, which, of course, is French, which is a little bit faster in villager production. Right now, that's 17 seconds, so it's probably improper. I'm guessing it's like 20% faster. It always rounds down when it comes to Essence Engine. Astronomical clock tower now being deployed down the field. Blue Scout may spot that. And now we've got the Guild Hall going up. Very nice. I like seeing the Guild Hall. It is being deployed right here. The Guild Hall acts like similar to a bank, but instead of with depositing units and you get interest in return, it simply just gives you resources and it flexes faster the more resources stored on up. I think it's a really good item to mix along with the Red Palace, so you get out a lot of additional keeps. Guild Hall is now, of course, automatically set to food. He has not reset to anything just yet. But honestly, there's a lot of opportunity you could just set to other resources as well. He maybe is eyeing for a bit of food. It's a good source of both gold and stone late game with more part of the resource they obtained. Looks like the side tried to pull out some walls there to stop these walls or the relic being claimed. Both players in the castaway at the moment. Neither side has obtained a relic. Magenta's killed off 4 villagers at the moment. Cyan does have a much smaller army than Magenta, and not to mention much less quality. We only have 1 Royal Knight in the field. He knows about the large number of spear in the field, so he decided not to pull out more Royal Knights. Got a healthy number of archers. We got a Clock Tower Nest of Thieves being put on the field. So I was going to go ahead and take time to finish off those walls. Berries being cleaned on up. Good kill down that villager. Royal Knight does not go down there when the horsemen do go down. 3 of the horsemen, I should say. So a good little pick there for the French player, since he's behind on military. It is very important he does get these picks like that. So we're going to do advance forward. We have some French man-at-arms, a relatively rare unit to see. Of course, got these tower and the town center firing away. Right now, the French player does have 3 town centers. Of course, it's a little bit less village production, down to 16. So in other words, his village production is slightly less than his opponent, but of course has been gaining a little less. We got a good number of Zinjanus in the field. Horsemen and Knight will go down. Man-at-arms a little bit overwhelmed. There's no... Actually, there is a handful, good number of crossbows in the field. Now think about it. Man-at-arms are probably a really bad item to pull out on the field because some of the current opponents are going to go for a large number of Royal Knights. So, crossbows is going to be a very good item to pull out on the field. But in this case, he went for man-at-arms and they got annihilated because they were not, because they're still going for the crossbows. Got Clock Tower Nest of Bees on the field as well. This villager trying to shank this villager. Spearmen trying to pursue these horsemen. There, of course, is a breach there. Outpost being upgraded. Man-at-arms advancing forward. We got, of course, a good number of archers in the back line to hit these spearmen. Clock Tower Nest of Bees does not get a shot off there. It does back off in time. The outpost provides complete spotting. Clock Tower Nest of Bees does find a small hit there on those archers. Looks like all the spearmen have gone down. He can't really stay around the region with that Clock Tower Nest of Bees. His archer's more than playing through this force. We do got a Spring Gold here. The Spring Gold emplacement does do 40 damage, which does overcome the 20 pierce armor of the Clock Tower Nest of Bees. So maybe we've got to focus on the Clock Tower Nest of Bees. Man-at-arms does get gunned down there. And he's eyeing for more man-at-arms. And the guild hall is still at set of food, so he does have a stockpile of food. Horseman advance on forward, and the horseman does get inside the tower there. It is upgraded with Spring Gold, gotta keep over here. The benefits for the French keeps, reducing the cost of units, does not apply to barracks if I remember correctly. It applies to archer range and stables, not to barracks. We got a good number of French villagers here trying to throw some torches. Got a mining camp by Cyan and by Magenta. And decides to fall back. Doesn't want this force to move around. There's a good number of villagers here that could be picked off. They're done collecting up berries. And they will get gunned down. That villager will get bombarded. All those villagers go down, so good pick there by Magenta. So a decent range force here. Villagers have repaired up this tower. And more Cyan's villagers getting picked off right here. Ooh, Cyan's losing too many villagers. We got a number of Palace Guards pulling in the field. Of course, Arbiteers will be very effective in this situation. Cyan's keep will start being deployed on out.
即将下达，让我去干我在服从您的命令。
French men-at-arms do receive the fire there. Palace guards being pursued.
有人开火，并非我方。在这里，他们在攻击。
And now got these forces pushed way forward, trying to stop that keep from going up. Science lost a significant number of villagers. That's going to keep deployed in the field, which will force back those units. Still got us force in the back line. Archers straightforward. They don't have any upgrades at the moment. Does play some palings, but the palings are too far away from to get the range benefit. These guys could pull out palings there. Block out and miss these forward. Man-at-arms and now engagement. Now you got a Spirit Wave now being employed on out, which is the Imperial Age landmark for Magenta for the Chinese. Also got some of these villagers. The Spirit Way allows you so as your dynasty units start falling, nearby units will get attack speed and health regen for a short amount of time. And Sign does fall back out of the game now. This is Great saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. And I kept on butchering my words the entire replay. I think there's a good reason why French tend to not go for man-at-arms. They don't get any cost reduction benefits, no unique upgrades, and crossbows are still likely going to be pulled out by their opponents, so your opponent's already going to have a counter because they already know what they're going to be fighting against. Royal Knights. Did those two same players earlier. Just now, I should say. I'm not a big fan of mirror matchups. Here we go, 28 minutes. Greetings everyone, and Great here from another Age of Empires 4 replay. Spawn on the top left side as a Red Roos, we have Louis MT. On the bottom right side as the Magenta Molians, we have Yui Metal. And since we do have a resupply on the field, let's go back on out to the out of caster mode and on to see the trade bounties accumulated. Economic benefits. Of course, the Roos do have access to their trade bounty mechanic. As they start killing off wildlife, they get a bit of extra gold, get increased food gathering rates, as well as hunting cabins gold generation. Additionally, they are wooden fortress, will allow them to get increased wood drop-off by 20%. Does find these forest puppers there, so Red will claim these. These forest puppers has been claimed. Two over here. One has only been claimed. Magenta will find this one. And now we do have the Zalak Doggos one going down. Molians. They have a lot of uniqueness to them, to say the least. They of course have access to the mining pit, which will provide some good gold passive generation as well. Additionally, they can also deploy cows into a cattle ranch to get some more food generation, or just eat the cows directly, which has the same collection rate as deer. Scouts do force back those scouts. These force weapons all go down, and they're pretty tightly clumped there, so a good placement of milk can collect them on up. Looks like Red has obtained quite a bit of trade bounty from, and does find a good number of these wolves to kill off. We got the Kremlin now going on up. And we're just going back out castle mode. If you hear one more wolf spotted, that will get him up to tier 2 trade bounty. Because right now he is at 240 out of 250 for tier 2. Looks like Magenta Scout has good force back. Magenta, of course, can get an upgrade for his scouts to become warrior scouts. When it comes to unique units, the Maulian loadout is incredibly unique, so it would probably be best to discuss the Rus unique units in order to see what composition you should go for. The Rus, of course, have one unique unit in this age, the Early Knight. An Early Knight. Same quality as Royal Knight, barring couple less bonuses, but still a very good heavy knight. Let's go and torch down one of these housing. Maulian houses do cost half the amount, provide half the population, but do still only have 50% less health rather than 100% less, or not 50% less health, it's like 33% less health. So they have still a decent amount of health for the cost. Another house has been torched, is been set ablaze. Warrior Scout, or yeah, it is now a full Warrior Scout field, which does go up to 7 damage. We've got now 2 Warrior Scouts in the field. These Scouts will do 11 damage each versus the Warrior Scouts. Warrior Scouts will do 17 damage each. They do have 110 health versus the Scouts 110, so that's still pretty similar. So I think the 3 Scouts could win versus 2 Warrior Scouts. Of course, they do have really high health regen. Now we've got mass Warrior Scout being put up by the Maulians, which he could go for professional scouts and start stealing the forest puppets on the ground. The Rus players tend to make good use of their trade bounty capability to increase the food collection rate even on huntables. It looks like he just can't get the tier 2. You now have the counts that are going on up here. Got some militia here. I guess he's worried about the Warrior Scouts for harassing him. Militia have 20 more seconds before they die from dysentery. Now we've got 5 Warrior Scouts in the field, but do now have the professional scouts being researched. And he knows about this deer deposit here, so you can go ahead and steal 5 of the deer. The red player needs an eye for killing off a boar relatively soon, because if he kills off a boar, he will be able to get his tier 2 trade bounty. And 10%, 5 extra % food collection is very important. Let me mention, just gives a little bit extra gold generation for the hunting cabin. And now there's the Warrior Scouts picking up the deer. You guys pick up 5 out of the 6 forest puppets there, or no, 5 out of the 7 looks like. There usually is groups of 8 deer, right? Or maybe I just miscounted how many Warrior Scouts there. It looks like all the deer will be picked up and stolen. Not sure where the last deer may have went. Okay, there's only 7 deer. I thought they spawned in groups of 8 deer. I was just mistaken. Or maybe this map's just a little bit different. Stable going on up, as well as an archery range. Of course, Magenta could steal these deer over here as well. It would be a bit dangerous. But now he will steal a good wave of deer, and his villagers will need to be tasked onto those deer immediately, because still has one picked up there that needs to be dropped off. Deer do get collected up faster than sheep. Sheep collection rate is 0.75, same as farms, and deer collect at 0.81. It does go and pick up his own deer deposit as well, very nice. So now he does not have to venture out the map. Maulian players generally, in my opinion, or based on my view experience, they generally don't deploy out additional town centers. They rely on, say, cattle farms and other things of that sort. Now you can take his free gold generation and get some cows, and then turn that into free food generation. And then eventually later on, you'll get more free gold generation, because after all, cows, what are they, 80? 90 gold. This player has brought out a large number of spearmen. He realizes his opponent has gone for a large number of warrior scouts. You have some Donzo deployed in the field. This warrior scout knocking some slices here. Single spearman coming to spawn. Warrior Scouts, they do not get bonus damage versus range units, so archers are still a soft counter to them, as they also have no pierce armor to them as well. But still, Warrior Scouts will win versus Archer 1v1, but it won't be a hard counter like, say, Horsemen. It's a soft counter. They're now a total outpost upgrade of arrow slits there. And now being upgraded fortified outpost as well. No, I don't think I've ever seen a fortified outpost for the Malians. You hardly ever see total outposts. This map is feasible for trade as well. You can always reinforce everything with stone walls as well as palisades. One house will go down, minor loss. Except in Donzo on the field. Donzo, of course, a heavier spearman. Right now, the Hardened Donzo has 100 health. The Hardened Spearman has 90 health. And Hardened Donzo do have +1 pierce armor. Not pierce armor, hack armor. So they will beat Spearman quite handily. They are, of course, slightly more expensive, costing 90 rather than 80. Now we've got a big wave of Roost Archers now being put on the field. He does have 2 mining pits out on the field. Donzo inside this garrison. He's not deploying anything just out just yet. He's getting out some more Donzo and now get some Javelin Throwers. Javelin Throwers are an anti-archer unit. They have 3 inherent pierce armor, 8 inherent damage, 4 bonus damage versus range, and attack the same speed as crossbows at 2.12. In other words, they actually a decent archer unit, quote unquote archer range unit. Versus even the knights, because they're higher base damage. Of course, they won't get any bonus damage versus them, but higher base damage can be handy. Got pierce armor not being researched by the Roost player. Warrior Scouts trying to engage. The Spearman does pick up one of the Warrior Scouts. Warrior Scouts do fall back. The damage output is relatively low, but they have really high health regen. They're meant for hit and runs. I do have Castlewade's Grand Fulani, however you pronounce it, Corral, which will improve the collection rate, or improve the cows just provide general 20 food per minute ticks, which does not compound with cattle ranches, which the cattle ranches do compound with the economic tax. So the more you get at that, the more food you get. We still got a good number of deer right here, so the Malian player has plenty of food to work with. Of course, he does have less villagers right now because of the town center. I wonder, did he actually steal some deer right there? These deer are along over here. Probably not. Warrior Scouts receive a bit of damage there. If he gets the Veteran Warrior Scout research, Veteran Sofa research, Veteran Warrior Scouts does actually allow them to gain bonus damage versus range, so they become a counter unit versus archers and crossbows. And I think the damage is like +10, so good amount. We do now have the imported armor. Sofas are a good item. They are a cheaper heavy cav, but they get their armor back in the Sage with research, but they still have a little less damage than, say, knights. Veteran advancing forward, while not realizing there's Donzo on the inside of it. As you see with damage there, we've got some veteran archers here, as well as some javelin throwers. Donzo do find a volley there. All posts receiving a bit of damage. Warrior Scouts moving around, no Veteran Warrior Scout being researched. He does have 3 Sofa on the field and 5 more on the build queue. Archers need to hit those Spearmen so the Sofas can push them a bit more effectively. Spearmen are getting hit. It's fine, the total outpost goes down. It's just there to provide a buffer, which it is doing, and well, now the Donzo now advancing forward. Donzo do advance on back. Now here comes the Sofa on the field. Most of the Spearmen having blood off, so now the Donzo, or the Sofas produce great damage. They have 6 pierce armor at the moment. Archers only have 6 damage, so they do 1 damage each. So Sofas right now will do incredible amounts of damage. Spearmen do get forced back there. That's just a scout. And Knights will have trouble versus the Sofas. They just have a bit too much armor work fight against. 5 armor at the moment, 20 damage. Early Knights have 19 damage and 3 melee armor. But right now, these Sofas are superior quality and cheaper than these Early Knights. Of course, that's the big difference between age 2 and 3. We now have a Moss going on up, fine, collect some relics. Right now, Magenta's army is quite minimal. So if not push way forward, got a wave of militia advancing forward. Mauling archers advancing forward as well. Sofas are falling back. More and more Sofas being flown in the field. He's trying to torch down this in the mining pit. Up here, you got the boar being claimed up. That will get him the tier 3 trade bounty. A little bit late for that. The militia have already died to dysentery. It looks like they go down to sword slices before. Oh, someone do die from a heart attack. Mining pit will be torched. They do take out the mining pit there. Minor victory. Archers face forward, so is javelin throwers. Sofas engaging. Looks like there's a couple of spearmen still alive. Those spearmen pose a so big threat to the Sofas. It looks like simply does not have enough force here. It's getting out more Sofa now. And so a handful of spearmen. He only has 2 archers remaining. Does take out some of the early knights there. Sofa's now engaging. More spearmen being brought forward and more early knights. He realizes his opponent is going for a large number of Sofas, and that's it right now. So going for more spearmen would probably be a good idea. Most of the spearmen are down. A couple more reinforced spearmen push way forward. Which are getting some good hits there on the Sofas. Not being hit yet. Now we got the Sofas here in good numbers. Force back the Red's army. But Red has so sizable force in the field. He needs to stop producing archers. These archers are doing 1 damage each. They're not worth it against Sofas. Still needs archers of his own. In order to deal with these spearmen. Right now the Mauling player has an absurd amount of food, needs more gold. He is going to set up, stop collecting that food. He has too much food stored up. Drop the berries off and start collecting that gold because he has too much food at the moment. And also lacking wood and gold. And of course he's trying to collect the gold from that mine there, but you can always go for a different mine. Mining pit trying to be pulled out of the field once again. Right now the Roost player does pull out another wave of militia. Of course they will take a bit of time to get on the front line. He's actually already on the front line. And looks like it just all fell over. Council arrows will do some good damage. And now Red's eyeing for a battering ram. So he's eyeing for a counterattack. He doesn't really have the force for counterattack unless he gets some good kills. Got a good number of villagers in the region. No upgrades in this wooden fortress. He does have +1 pierce damage. These archers arrows should do 2 damage each if he gets inside the wooden fortress. Which they do. But he does actually have additional pierce armor now, so he does still have, no, he's always had 6. So that makes still those arrows do 1 damage each, not a lot. And he's not obtaining the gold there. He desperately needs gold. Sofas do cost 60 gold, so they're much heavier in food, that's of course. But right now he just doesn't really have any gold at the moment. Villagers push forward, trying to torch out some of these battering rams. He's starting to engage, but the spearmen will get some good damage there if he can actually connect. Does say that cattle ranch is currently on fire. He will clean up his force there with the sofas. The battering ram does destroy one cattle ranch. Now the deer can be tipped. Really trying to collect this gold. He has plenty of food, even enough for an age up. Just needs more sofas. Also could use a bit of wood as well. He just has minimal villagers collecting up wood. Find some free spearmen here. That's very good. Right now, the Rus army is down to 27, which is still mostly composed of spearmen, a good counter unit. We've got fortified palisade walls going on up. And maybe we'll find some of these villagers. He goes up around north a bit more. Trying to ghost out some of these walls now, but looks like the sofas should be able to break through. Yes, they do. So a good number of these villagers will start going down, which is something Red cannot afford to lose. Magenda's killed off 15, Red's killed off 7, Spearman not connecting. Sofas back down off. He does get all except for like one villager. Very good. Red does have textiles. Now got these sofas engaging as well. The amount of spearmen on the field, he could actually go for his own Donzo. Donzo, of course, are better than spearmen, and they'll be able to do bonus damage to the early knights. Musavati Wars could be another possibility as well. They do beat spearmen 1v1, and they do bonus damage versus heavy. We got a big wave of militia being pulled on field. Early Knights is trying to stream on in, trying to find some villagers. Got the Kremlin finding a way. We got a handful of farms on the field already. After all, he stole a large number of the deer, so he's forced to build those farms. Got those archers now firing away, get some damage. Of course, got the militia here, and now he actually has a decent force of archers to engage the spearmen as well, so it will be effective with some militia. Those sofas will go down. These villagers could get hit by those sofas, but there's too many spearmen in the region. Fortified palisade walls trying to go on up. He's trying to see up these forces. The early knight is severely wounded. Does got the villager there. Villager has gone down. And the knight goes down as well. And now the high trade house being employed on the field. And there's a position there that will provide some decent gold income, though quite a bit of the forest has been claimed, so we'll probably provide him about maybe 150 gold per minute. Mauling player's not eyeing for some farms. He does go ahead and bop those cows that were let loose. Sophos will find a good number of villagers there. Archers trying to engage the spearmen. Early knights engaging the archers. The archers do have all their damage upgrades at this age, so they are in the poison arrows. So they will do 5 damage per arrow against these early knights, which is still a decent amount of damage at this point in time. These early knights will start going down. These Sophos now streaming on in, getting some villagers kills. We got hack armor now being researched by the Maulian player. Some of these villagers being picked on off. Got these archers and knights going down. We got these knights or Sophos engaging these villagers. Rus players losing a large number of villagers. Yes, the spearmen trying to close these, hunt them down. Archer's getting some good damage there on the Mauling Archer Spearman Fancy Forward. Does get a good stab there. High Trade House is providing 176 gold per minute. Very good. Does find some good kills there on those Mauling archers. Does get out some crossbows in the field, which is exactly what he needs to get back the game. Crossbows, of course, very good versus Sofas. Does also have better spearman research as well as the regular knight research. So right now he has lost a good number of villagers, and his opponent does have a lot of income coming on in from those cattle farms, though the mining pits may have not been pulled out at all. I got the Mauling Knights falling back. These Mauling Knights are being pursued. The Roost Player is starting to stabilize. He does have a smaller force in his opponent, but does have a bit more of a sufficient counter force. Mauling Player has a good number of archers in the field, so keeping his own archer production is probably a good idea. Mix in with his crossbows. Honeygabbin now receiving a bit of fire. Sofas have mostly gone down. There's only a handful of Sofas left on the field. And up here, he is trying to gauge this area. He's going for the Spring Gold upgrade. He can also go for arrow slits, among everything else. And now the Knights are able to pursue the Sofas. Right now, at this point in time, these Knights are higher quality. Though the Sofas do have more hack armor at the moment. Less health, though. So they're probably a bit comparable until Respark gets more upgrades going. Archers now firing away against these spearmen. You got some Roost Man-at-Arms not being pulled on as well. That would be a good item to engage these veteran archers, as well as they would be decent Sofas. Sofas do not have the charge attack like other knights, so the Man-at-Arms can just engage them on equal terms, though they'll still be lower quality. Crossbows get some good hits there, so Roost Man-at-Arms are good transition. The mixing spearman wouldn't hurt, but the problem is going for large number of archers. Does get poison arrows research. His force has been cleaned on up, but you got a warrior monk in the field. Magenda's picked up 2 relics. One more has been picked up. Red has claimed 1. And now you have Boyar's Fortitude now being researched. Nice charging forward. Does get a good charge attack there. So close pushing forward. Got all these units engaging. Poison arrows are okay versus heavy armor units. It's just not a good item against them. It will just do damage over time. Mangonel finds a great shot there on the Magenta Maulians, who do now have a Magenta Keep going on up. Sofas are holding the line. They have to hold the line so the keep can be built. So it looks like he will get closed in. There's some more villagers from the other side, so he looks like he will get to keep built. Mangonel finds a volley there on these villagers. Gets a great hit there. And Magenta backs out of the game. This is Anagrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Not that button. This button. Let's see. Can't remember which one it was. It was a bit more down. Nope, it was lower than that. It was that one. Now we can head downwards. And yep, I remember going past these, so I think I should just I think I already perused all those replays, so on next person. Which I remember as well. There was replays that were ticking up right in front of me when I was casting. Looks like he only had one more completed, and it is actually a decent length of replay, so let's do it. Greetings everyone, and Grade here of another Age of Empires 4 replay. Spawn on the top side as the Yellow English with Beastie. Spawn on the south side as the Magenta Holy Roman Empire with I Am Magic. And look at this map. It is a King of the Hill map. So, it all comes down to find the center. What is this? We got early board. Okay, so he's very familiar with this map there. And he's going for early board. And has 6 villagers onto the board, so we'll get an X amount of food income. There's also the deer behind him. Roman Empire player is eyeing for just a sheeple, being inspired by the prelate. But of course, he could do the same thing as well as the Holy Empire, but able to get some good healing. Now it's taking time to herd these deer into towards the town center. Very good. He did hit one of these. He is hitting some of these deer, so he does go and pick off that one. So a little bit far away. Taking time to herd the deer. He could do the same as well. He sees his opponent doing. He can do. If his opponent can do it, he can do it. And since I'm not really familiar with this map, let's just take a quick look at this map. See here, we got a safe gold and stone. One mining camp back here. Oh, and his opponent doesn't get that favor, so you will have to get 2 mining camps. Of course, we got both a stone deposit in the back, his opponent's stone deposit in front. Of course, they both have a gold deposit near the center of the map. This map, I can obviously see the defensive landmarks being very effective, so likely the English player will go for the White Tower in Castle Age. On the side, of course, there's a bit of deer, a bit of berries, a bit of gold. But there's a very small amount of stone on the map, which the Holy Empire does get cheaper in place some upgrades, which could be useful. By the way, let's cover each player's economic bonuses. The English. The English do have access to one of the most powerful economies in the game, the farming. It's a great way to have a good, reliable source of food in the early game without needing to venture onto the map. The boar is still being claimed, gold still being collected. Neither side is like advanced next age just yet. The Holy Empire do have the Aachen, well, the prelate there to improve the collection rate of nearby resources. The Aachen Chapel Estate's put in a bad location. 1, he can't put enough farms right there. 2, he could have put it like right around here in order to get the gold and the stone all collected up, as well as a bit of wood. So I don't like that placement there. He should have pushed it out over here. Sure, he would have destroyed that straggler, but freeze. And he has enough wood for a lumber yard. English players starting to herd the deer into the town center. It's like herding cats. But honestly, herding cats would be easier than this. When it comes to unique units in the Feudal Age, the English, of course, has access to the longbow as well as the Feudal Age man-at-arms, the early man-at-arms. His opponent will have access to the Feudal Age man-at-arms, but that's about it. Of course, his Feudal Age man-at-arms can get quite good. Our Landsknechts, they're Castle Age, not Feudal Age. Not like they'll be useful against longbowmen. Longbowmen, of course, will do bonus damage to them. But now Ken Chapel's now deployed on the field. It will provide some good radius. I would like to select him to see. It only partially skims over the trees over there, so I really don't like the placement of Ken Chapel. He should have put it like butts up next to the house and the mining camp there. He can always delete the house and the mining camp later, and will help him provide some increased collection rate around the both stone deposits as well as the trees there. So this Auction Chapel, in my opinion, is horribly placed. Maybe he was trying to put it right there so he gets better food collection with a deer. That's maybe the only reason why I could see him doing it like that. I think always, if he wants faster food collection, he always can use this sheep. 40% faster collect the sheep is still quite significant. We have some longbows now being pulled out in the field. Those throw some palings as well. Worried about any horsemen.
Du bedarf ist west.
Outpost going on up. No, I'm not used to seeing palings being placed out one at a time. I usually remember seeing them. There's always just mass formation. We got a horseman and scout now pulled down the field.
Kommet bereits. Lasset uns gehen.
Horseman and scout are trying to engage the wood line. Of course, one horseman's not a big threat. Oh, looks like he can't enter through over here. I can see the trees, I can see the ivy on the ground, so he actually can't... He may not be able to traverse this region. Huh. He's really got lucky in this placement, didn't he? Able to get one mining camp for the gold and the stone, and now good placement there for the lumber camp. We got multiple longbows to one field, got peelings everywhere. Scout now we're seeing a bit of fire there, being pursued by the horsemen. Looks like the English player's gonna creep forward with a outpost in order to find network castles. He's trying to apply some aggression over here. He's probably gonna pull out the white castle in this region. He may eye for a fast castle, but he's eyeing for a large number of longbowmen. Forest pupper still being claimed on up. Gold mine is still collecting the increased rate, as well as the stone deposit as well. The wood line's now away. Got a good number of horsemen here. Of course, we got a very good number of longbowmen. Don't have any pierce damage just yet, nor pierce armor from either side. Horseman being pushed to a corner. One horseman will go down. Trying to body block the horseman there with scout. Does take another scout, didn't body block him. He has a longbowman, maybe a good idea to go for his man-at-arms. After all, man-at-arms don't really have any solid counters in feudal age. Longbowmen do hit harder, of course, but with his marching drill, he can actually keep pursuing the longbowman a little bit easier. Does have his own archers in the field, and longbowmen do outrange regular archers by 2. And I got Pierce Armor now researched for the Holy Empire player. Let's get this outpost garrison. He does need arrow slits there to match the range of the longbowmen. These horsemen try to advance forward, but it looks like the scout does go down. And so far he's just only solely relying on this council hall for production, which does come as 2 archer ranges. The explorer is now eyeing for a tower over here. He does have pierce damage on the way. He may want to go for siege engineer, start getting some battering rams. Archers do find some hits onto these forces. And the engineers is on the way for now for the English. He knows his opponent's only going for archers. He has not seen any spearmen, so
Come bereits.
he really should eye for a masked horseman at this moment. He does have another outpost over here. Has been upgraded arrow slits as well. And the English player is eyeing for another outpost. So he has a good network of castles. Network of outposts. Not sure what that was. We do not have multiple archer rangers going on the field. That is a poor read at the moment. It's, in fact, just a mass horseman would be very effective. Looks like the villager's just out of range. Does get some damage there. Got multiple battering rams not being pulled on the field. Mass horseman will be very effective versus battering rams and versus longbowmen. Does get a bit of damage there. Does see some fire there. Does get some damage on the longbows. Outpost now seeing some fire. Of course, he can always use emergency repairs to get it healed up. That horseman does go down. That battering ram does manage to skip out of there. He does have a fill in this region, so he may be trying to get that repaired up. Scout receives some fire there. Now he's trying to hit this blacksmith. Does get inside the tower before receives any damage from the longbows. Outpost does get a bit of damage there as well. The English does have pierce armor himself. Horseman's starting to go on down. They're all quite wounded. Does get the outpost not garrisoned up. Does pull back the battering rams. This battering ram's being repaired up by a villager. Got a number of palings going up. Very nice. This one. That's got to be a bit of exploit. I'm pretty sure the palings are supposed to disappear after you move away, and he did that while moving. Outpost is severely damaged, but can be repaired up relatively soon with the emergency repairs. He may hold off emergency repairs until the battering start advancing on forward. Still no horsemen. He is not eyeing horsemen whatsoever. So the Holy Empire player is not properly countering his opponent. We got the one horseman here. It will take a bit of time to take out these battering rams here. Archer fire. Outpost is now set up to full health. Outpost does go down, blacksmith goes down, but there's nothing he needs there at the moment. He is pushing forward his own battering ram, which allows him to hit the outpost there to get rid of the network castles. He's going to sacrifice some housing or make his advance. There's currently 24 longbows. There are 30 archers here, so he does have more damn units here. Longbowmen do have 1.37 attack speed. Regular archers right now have 1.62. Looks like he's spilling up his fire, which does mean he doesn't really overkill too much. Looks like the outpost does go down. This battery is still pushing forward. Single horseman trying to hit it. Right now, yellow has less military force on the field. Magenta has a larger force, mostly just archers. Now got the King's Palace being put on the field, not the White Tower. So that was my bad guess. We have multiple barracks not being pulled up by the English. He's probably going to eye for armor-clad man-at-arms. Due to the fact that his bonus man-at-arms can counter them in Castle Age. Until that point, armor-clad man-at-arms can be very useful. Though honestly, archers right now can only go up to 6 damage. He doesn't need armor-clad to get maxed out the armor. Probably could stand to get out his own horseman instead. Looks like the English starting to transition to some man-at-arms. His military force is right now just 3. Does get the outpost town center garrisoned on up. And yellow's almost out of sheeple here. He has not deployed any farms just yet. He does need some more wood. Does spot the King's Palace, which Of course, it's deployed next to this tree deposit, so we will be able to collect that up. Quite a bit of trees on this map.
Tam.
Sieht bereit. Tu ich. Sieht aber. Sieht aber. Angegriffen.
God's weaker at me.
Horseman does go down there. Villagers trying to collect up those trees now. Got these villagers drop off a bit of gold there. Enough for a good number of man-at-arms. I'm going to get some damage there. Now his opponent's next advanced next age. He's starting to collect up a large number of resources there. Does have a good farming base here as well. So we'll be able to get some good food collection there. Yellow does have more villagers. And two additional villagers have been killed off there by Magenta. Man-at-arms making their way forward. We see a bit of damage there from the archers. Man-at-arms making their advance. They do have 2 pierced arms at the moment, just from not from armor clad. So these are early man-at-arms. Getting some damage on in. Man-at-arms making their advance. A couple of longbowmen still remains. He's building more longbows. Battering ram now hitting this monastery. There is relics on this map. We got 2 for each side and 1 in the center. Man-at-arms getting some good hits there on these archers. They're getting caught up on the berries. Now we've got the Bulgraf Palace not being pulled on the field, which is ×4 ×5 barracks. Seeing his opponent's going for mass man-at-arms to counter this, going for his own man-at-arms is probably a good idea. But honestly, not realizing it, the man-at-arms transition here maybe it's a temporary thing. Due to the fact that he knows that he's fighting against Holy Roman Empire, he knows his man-at-arms are much higher quality. He's not even gotten out the man-at-arms research. Has not upgraded his man-at-arms from early to regular man-at-arms. So he may be just trying to use these man-at-arms as a way to hit those archers. And he's not going to go any further that, though he did invest a lot of barracks into that. We now got the Bulgraf Palace now pulled on the field, way over here. Which will quickly spawn up these men-at-arms for him. These men-at-arms doing some great damage there onto these villagers. Man-at-arms now engaging. There's fine, good number of villagers killed there, and Yellow's captured up the sacred site in the middle of the map, so now let's count down in favor of Yellow. And those man-at-arms have finally been cleaned on up. Yellow does got a good number of villager kills there. Now got crossbows now being pulled on out.
God's swinker have been made.
Where are they shortened?
These archers are advancing forward. Of course, we've got the man-at-arms and crossbows in this region. A couple longbowmen hits here as well. No, still encrypted by the English, so no keep behind quote on field. He does have currently claimed up 1 relic and 3 picked up by Yellow, so he is going to claim the most relics. Couple conversion rituals there to panic his opponent. The rest of Magenta's archers have gone down. Now he just only has men-at-arms. Crossbows being deployed on good numbers. Thanks to Count's Hall, he can deploy crossbows in good numbers. Yellow's even taking time to collect up these exterior food sources, which is very uncommon for English because they have very powerful farms. They really have to venture on the side of the maps, but he doesn't just save up on wood. Fortified outpost, another outpost going on up. There's a couple of villagers collecting up on stone. He could try climb up stone and encase the sacred site in stone, and then put his longbowman on top, or crossbows.
Geef me een Angriffsziel. Bogen in Bereitschaft.
He does have his monks in the front line as well, healing up his forces. That's usually a thing that Delhi Sultanate does. All the Ottomans, never really the English. Of course, this man at arms started to get overwhelmed. The Holy Roman Empire player has not gotten out blunt weapons nor the two-handed weapons.
Wem soll ich erschießen?
Darin geschwindet!
And we still got more crossbows in build queue for yellow. Gunning down some more of these villagers.
Gib mir ein Angriffsziel. Ruft den Fuß! Bewegt euch!
Another outpost upon the field, going for Spring Gold, fortified outpost as well. A couple of villagers facing fort as well. He does not have the fur keep nor anything else. I'm not sure why he's pushing forward with some villagers. We've got a handful of archers still for the Holy Roman Empire player. And let's see, he's starting to get forces back. Just too many crossbows in this region. Now we got armor-clad veteran spearmen research.
Ich heere dat. Beortkette, we are fortgangende.
Wen soll ich erschießen?
Get it busy. We are going the Tolkers.
Bogen in Bereitschaft. Bogen näher zu, wegen nach Geheiß. Wen soll ich erschießen?
Swap ahead.
Yellow's cleaned up the deer over here. The deer's still being cleaned up here, as well as going for the berries. These men-at-arms will find these villagers here. Villagers trying to run away. Yellow will need to get his army over there. None of these villagers will go down. And thanks to the King's Palace, he does have extra villagers compared to his opponent. Nearly 100% more. And now you got the Berkshire Castle going on up. This is a very powerful structure on this map. It will cover the Sacred Site. In fact, the Sacred Site still has 5 minutes remaining. The One Empire player needs to pull out some siege weapons, or needs to start pushing forward. Of course, it does have a good number of outposts. And battery rams sitting on the point will be useful in order to stop the Sacred Site countdown.
Sellen, höre zu. Jube geheißen. Also dann,
Berkshire Castle now deployed down the field.
Wir können Moos ansetzen. Durch! Alle zusammen nur, marschieren! Bin bereit zu den Kämpfen!
Man-at-arms push way forward, trying to engage these villagers, but does get hit in the back by another man-at-arms. Man-at-arms push way forward, does a good number of crossbows here. Monks gain some good healing, but overall, Magenda's force is simply large right here. Does have the Berkshire Castle firing away with a Spring Golden placement as well. Gain some damage over here. Sacred Site has 4 minutes remaining. Bombard placement on the way. These villagers trying to collect up wood. Needs to find another location. Maybe deploy the lumberyard up here. More archer ranges here. He's pulling out some more crossbows. He could go for hand cannoneers, but at this point in time, crossbows be a bit more cost effective. Now got Mangonel deployed out by yellow. Mangonel fires, does get some damage there. Archer's being pursued. Magenda's army will go down, and Magenta decides to fall back out of the game now. This end grade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Gonna find another person now. Online 15 days ago. Here we go, 2 days ago. Got some recent replays. I'm gonna do this one here. Yep, that's the only replay that's long enough.